Hello everybody. Southern Thailand, with its stunning natural landscapes and rich cultural diversity, holds a long-standing history of Islamic presence. Unlike most parts of Thailand, where the majority of the population practices Buddhism, southern Thailand has long been a hub of Muslim life, particularly in the provinces of Pattani, Yala, and Narathiwat. Since the 15th century, Islam has taken strong root in the region, influenced by Islamic kingdoms that once ruled over the Malay territories. In the beginning, the region thrived in peace, with a strong adherence to Islamic teachings, where Muslim customs and traditions were deeply woven into daily life. However, since the late 20th century, the area began to experience significant tension. Social and political unrest grew, largely fueled by demands for greater autonomy from separatist groups seeking independence or broader freedoms for the southern region. These changes affected the lives of Muslims in southern Thailand, presenting new challenges in maintaining harmonious relations between local communities and the central government. Despite the long-standing conflict, Muslims in the south have continued to uphold their identity, clinging to moderate and peaceful Islamic values. In the past decade, however, the situation in the region has begun to shift. The Thai government, once overwhelmed by the severity of the unrest, started to realize the importance of improving relations with the Muslim communities in the south. Reconciliation efforts and more inclusive development policies have been introduced to reduce tensions and offer fair solutions for all parties involved. The lives of Muslims in southern Thailand, previously hindered by conflict, are now gradually moving toward greater stability and peace. Many communities are now focusing on economic development, education, and interfaith cooperation to foster a more harmonious environment. The diversity found in the region stands as evidence that, despite challenges, a tolerant and peaceful social life can still be preserved. This long and dynamic journey illustrates how Islam in southern Thailand continues to grow and endure despite numerous obstacles. Looking back, the future of Islam in the region now appears brighter, thanks to the many initiatives and efforts aimed at creating a more peaceful and harmonious life. After years of living under the shadow of conflict and distrust, southern Thailand is now entering a new era, an era of dialogue, development, and hope. The Thai government has come to realize that a purely military approach is insufficient to resolve the complex root causes of the region's unrest. As a result, new, more inclusive initiatives and policies have begun to emerge, with the primary goal of building bridges of trust between the state and the Muslim communities in the south. One of the key steps taken has been opening channels of dialogue between the government and representatives of the Muslim population, including civil society groups and religious leaders. These discussion forums serve not only as platforms for expressing aspirations, but also as a means of reweaving the sense of unity that had been torn apart. The government has begun to listen more and speak less, a significant turning point. Moreover, the government has launched a range of economic development programs targeted directly at Muslim communities. Infrastructure has been improved, access to education expanded, and entrepreneurship training increasingly promoted. In recent years, the establishment of vocational training centers in areas like Pattani and Narathiwat highlights the government's commitment to job creation and fostering economic self-sufficiency. Education has become one of the main focuses in the effort to build peace. The government is working in collaboration with local Islamic institutions to strengthen an educational system that integrates both religious values and the national curriculum. The aim is to produce a young generation that is not only knowledgeable and devout, but also prepared to compete at the national and global levels. Although challenges remain, the social atmosphere in southern Thailand is now more optimistic. Mosques that were once heavily guarded are now more open, and Muslim communities are increasingly active in social and village development activities. Many residents welcome the government's new approach, which emphasizes well-being and respect for local identity rather than mere security control. Of course, the road to lasting peace is never easy. Some extremist groups still exist, and the trauma of the past has yet to fully fade. Nevertheless, the government's tangible efforts, both in physical development and in cultural engagement, have sparked a flame of hope. Today, many believe that peace in southern Thailand is no longer just a dream, but a real goal that can be achieved together. Government officials, religious leaders, youth, and the general public are beginning to move in the same direction, building a peaceful, prosperous southern region that remains firmly rooted in a friendly and moderate Islamic identity. If southern Thailand's past was marked by conflict and tension, its future is now being shaped by a new force, the Muslim youth. These are the sons and daughters of Patani, Yala, and Narathiwat, raised amid turmoil, but unwilling to inherit old wounds. Instead, they carry a new spirit, a spirit to heal, to unite, and to inspire. In an increasingly connected world, young Muslims in southern Thailand now have greater access to education and information. Many pursue higher education at leading universities within Thailand and abroad, including in Malaysia, Indonesia, the Middle East, and even Europe. Armed with knowledge and a global outlook, they return home with fresh perspectives on Islam, peace, and community development. The role of this young generation is increasingly evident across various fields. In the social sphere, they have founded communities that focus on issues such as education, mental health, entrepreneurship, and the preservation of local culture. They act as bridges between the older generation and modernity, between Islamic values and the challenges of the times. Some have even become pioneers of interfaith dialogue, initiating discussion forums between Muslim and Buddhist youth to foster mutual understanding. On social media, the young faces of southern Thailand's Muslim community are emerging as influencers promoting positive messages. They use digital platforms to share content that is educational, inspirational, and spiritually inclusive. Not preaching that divides, but that embraces and unites. They speak of an Islam that is peaceful, that values knowledge, and that is actively involved in building society. In business, young Muslims are no less creative. Many local startups and micro-enterprises are being led by this new generation. From halal culinary ventures, modern Muslim fashion, to tech applications for education, they prove that Islam and innovation can go hand in hand. These businesses not only boost the local economy but also strengthen the identity of southern Thailand's Muslims as a productive and self-reliant community. They are also becoming active in politics and public policy. Some young leaders are beginning to occupy strategic positions in local government and non-governmental organizations. With a better understanding of the state system and the interests of the Muslim community, they advocate for policies that are fairer, more inclusive, and focused on long-term development. The Muslim youth of southern Thailand are not just inheritors of history, but architects of the future. They do not abandon their identity as Muslims, nor do they reject modernity. With a broad vision and fresh energy, they stand as agents of change, bringing new hope to their homeland. They do not simply wish to live in peace, they strive to create it. And with them at the forefront, the future of Islam in southern Thailand looks brighter, stronger, and more in tune with the spirit of the times. The development of Islam in southern Thailand is not only reflected in the role of its youth but also in the growing number of Muslims who are increasingly prominent in social, economic, and cultural spheres. The rising Muslim population in the southern provinces has created a new dynamic that strengthens the Islamic identity and expands the community's contribution to regional development. As the Muslim population grows, the face of towns and villages is changing. Mosques have become more magnificent, serving not only as places of worship but also as centers for social, educational, and communal activities. Islamic boarding schools and religious institutions have rapidly developed, complementing formal education with strong and moderate religious values. Many of these institutions are now adopting more progressive curricula, integrating Islamic studies with science, technology, and entrepreneurship. Economically, the Muslim community in southern Thailand is experiencing remarkable momentum. Many are now leading local businesses, ranging from halal food enterprises, traditional crafts, to interprovincial trade. Traditional markets thrive with economic activity driven by Muslim communities, creating vibrant and sustainable economic hubs. Social life is also undergoing a major transformation. Muslim communities are becoming more confident in expressing their identity, not in exclusivity, but as part of Thailand's diversity. Islamic cultural events are now openly celebrated, and local festivals that blend Malay and Islamic traditions are beginning to attract tourists and interfaith communities. These efforts are tangible steps toward fostering mutual understanding and respect for diversity. Most encouraging of all is the deepening of peaceful coexistence. In many areas, Muslims and non-Muslims collaborate on social projects, economic empowerment programs, and even interfaith religious activities. Buddhist teachers can be found teaching in Islamic schools, and young Muslims are actively involved in community initiatives within Buddhist neighborhoods. These changes prove that trust and tolerance can take root and flourish, even in a land once marked by conflict. The key to this success lies not only in government policies or religious leadership, but in the collective commitment of all layers of society to build true peace, peace that is not imposed from above, but that grows from below, from heart to heart. Islam in southern Thailand is now writing a new chapter, one of peace, revival, and harmony. From a long and dynamic history, from conflict to reconciliation, the Muslim community is now stepping into the future with confidence. With more spaces for dialogue, improved educational quality, active youth engagement, and a growing population supported by social and economic empowerment, the future of Islam in southern Thailand looks increasingly bright. This is not just a religious revival, it is also a social and cultural awakening that brings hope to the entire nation. Southern Thailand now offers a vital lesson, that diversity is not a threat, but a strength. That Islam can flourish peacefully within pluralism. And that Muslim communities can serve as strong pillars of development within a unified nation. From Patani to Yala to Narathiwat, the echoes of hope are growing louder. And in a land once filled with unrest, the flowers of peace are now blooming, carrying the fragrance of a more just, peaceful, and united future.